Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and War Games, and today we are talking Armoured Clash, and finally the Alliance is here. My favorite faction has arrived. We received the Alliance faction battle group. Thank you, War Cradle. We also have the little command card that we're going to take a look at first, and also the Malinois Interdictor, and it's going to be full resin. This box is at 150 euros brand new, but you can get it at minus 15% on my hobby plays. And if you do, all the partnerships from the beginning, if you do, you can choose Love and War Games, and we have 5% back. So thank you very, very much if you do this. It rewards the time we spent on this video, making battle reports, tactical deep dives, making all the slides you're gonna see soon. So thank you very much again, guys. Now, what do we get in this box? We are going to get two examples of each sprue, so the Infantry Regiment and the Armored Regiment, which is for the Alliance called the Assault Regiment for some reason. We're gonna get some terrain. We're gonna get, of course, the massive flagship. I hope it's big, like I really love the design. And we're gonna get all the rulebook, the tokens, the movement, the cards, and everything. So very happy to get this. have already ordered another one for me because Alliance is going to be one of my main faction, of course, alongside the Union. So do expect to see a lot more of them. For those who don't know, this type of video, we're going to start with the unboxing parts, taking a look at the sprues and everything. And then the longer half of the video is going to be about making a tactical deep dive, how to play the Alliance, the different battle groups you can build, and each and every single of the data sheets that you see here, we're going to go in a deep dive. Of course, there is always timestamps if you want to skip right where it is interesting for you. Thumbs up, subscribe, everything if you don't want to miss anything, and it helps us grow. And if you put a comment to tell us anything, and especially what do you think of Armoured Clash, the Alliance and everything, if you put a comment, you are in the contest for trying to win one of the two War Machine armies that are in this contest right now, fully painted Menoth and Signar army of the 4th edition for Signar. That being said, let's get right going, and we'll start with the cards because that's the fastest. It is the command cards that you can get if you don't buy the starters, for example, or you don't have the cards, or you want your own faction logos. You can buy this and you're going to get those cards. It's exactly the same cards as for like the generic ones without the logo, but here you have the Alliance sign. I'm gonna keep it closed for now because I don't want it to flip around, but expected to see it during our battle reports. It's exactly the same cards as before, and we will see it soon. The Malinois Interdictor, let's take a look. It's made of resin. I have to admit, I am not the highest fan of this design, like this kind of like, how do we call it, duck wing? I don't know. But we'll take a look at how it is in resin. Of course, you have the flight stand, the base, which is made of ground, which is good for Armoured Clash. And okay, Malinois, let's take a look at you. So it is a huge main piece, unlike some others. You have the little wheels down there. It looks quite dynamic, okay. Looks almost like a Mirage or something. You have a little nose there, and of course the tails. Okay, it's gonna be very fast to build. We got one engine here, one engine there, and that is going to be it. Very fast to build, and you're gonna have this. Okay, I have to admit, seeing it from above, it is quite fine. It is an interceptor, or interdictor they call it. Yeah, interdictor, but it has it is going to be used mostly for intercepting, I think. We will see the rules in detail in the later half of the video, but okay. I was not a big fan, but now seeing it, I actually like it. Okay, and yeah, we have the edge here. All right, now we're gonna take a deeper look at everything you can get there, but again, let's just take a look. There's a lot of infantry there and a lot of cavalry for the Alliance. This is counting as cavalry. This is actually cavalry. As you can see, it has a base, unlike this, which is a tank. We're gonna have some drop pods, some Italian Outriders, lots of different infantry, including some with some dogs and the French Légionnaires, flying units, and the giant thing. Let's open the box. Okay, as always, it's very full. We're gonna get first this little thing to remind us there is also the naval part, Dystopian Wars, and the ground part, Armoured Clash. Free rules and all the obats, the factions, their updated rules, glossary and everything for free through this QR code. Same for Dystopian Wars. the rulebook with the main rules and everything. There hasn't been much update to any of this. Even the glossary is not there, like the keywords and stuff, which is good because they've been updated for a couple times. But the main rules have not changed. They're quite stable. You can see it's always the good quality rulebook. We like it. Lots of fluff. Amazing. It's very different fluff to the I just before filmed for Dystopian Wars. It's not the same fluff. It's not the same letters. Interesting. I wonder how the fluff differs. I need to check the Dystopian Wars one in detail. This one I know. You get the giant card. This we love. You have not deployed. Yeah, I will deploy it because maybe there is a surprise. You know how it works. Let me zoom. We have a giant map of the world. Why am I looking at it the Australian way? Let's put it back. Nice map of the world. And which faction do we get? And this time it's the Enlightened, the Covenant. I have no idea how it works. We always seem to have two factions, to be two factions late. I guess it's the time to make the artwork and stuff. But I like previously we had the Union and everything. Once you're gonna have your own faction, I guess you're gonna keep it. And too bad it's not in your starter book. Maybe, I'm pretty sure it's because of production issues and stuff. Maybe at some point they're gonna catch up the production of the artwork in the sense like really designing them, and it's gonna be the good one in your faction starter set. But the map is always the same, which is good. You're gonna get tons of dice. This we know, we like, important proprietary dice, and always very cool. Like it's you play one turn with this and you're like, okay, it's very fast. I like that there is black and green, and when you start to play you really start to look by colors, and it goes very fast. The Victory and Velo cards that we have just seen, like I've said, it's exactly the same cards, just the back changes a little bit. This is the generic one, but beyond that it is exactly the same. Oh my god, okay, it's heavy. The fortress, oh my god, how big is it? Okay, I'm very excited for this, but we're gonna keep it for the last part of the unboxing. You're going to get a lot of bases for your infantry and your cavalry. Infantry with this, cavalry for that, and you can fill up some part of the infantry if you want to make some conversion. You have the banners here to convert your officers. And we start taking a look at the assault regiment, so with the tanks. And it's going to be with the drop pods as well. And it's going to be the Legionnaires, the infantry I've been waiting for. So let's take a look. We have the armored, oh my god, it's big. It's actually longer than the other tanks of other factions. You can build the tank with some infantry inside. It can be a troop transport. If I can put a good light on it. I mean, it's Paris, it's always great. We're putting a big zoom. You can see how big it is. This is the basic infantry that we're gonna see later. Can be Ordenenza from the Sousa, or Portugal, but it can also absolutely be, depending on how you paint it, infantry, basic infantry for the French. And the box art color has them in the proper colors of the French. We have some Légionnaires here, extremely detailed, oh my god, with the banner and everything, the little backpack, some heat weaponries. This is the doors for the drop pods, rocket, like Death Storm drop pod or the normal drop pod. Some Legionnaires with very cool pose. Oh my god, how are we supposed to paint this? Like the little cables and everything, good luck. But first of all, good luck painting this, and good luck seeing this. I need to find a color scheme to make it pop from a distance. We got some more Legionnaires here. What is that? It looks like a bike. Oh yeah, you're gonna have some bikes, like some bandits from the Italians, quite cool. The priests that are just here to look cool, because apparently the Pope is very influent in the Alliance. The anti-air tanks. Are we getting the small tanks in here? No, I guess it's, yeah, it's the turret for the main battle tank. Okay, and those are for the 5 bikes that you get. Very well. Some more Legionnaires and enough stuff to make the main tanks. And this is the main body of the drop pod. Okay, it is quite large. Oh, there are even little turrets. It looks like the little gun battery of the Alliance in Dystopian Wars. You can paint these little things blue and everything. Okay, the drop pods do look very cool, I have to admit. Main doors for the tanks. Okay, lots of good stuff to like here. And I really like the Legionnaires. Looking brilliant. Okay, so you're gonna have 2 sprues of those. sorry, 4 sprues. It's like 2 sprues per box, and you have the equivalent of 2 boxes. It's really a good discount, this box. Like, even if you just wanted the infantry and armored sprues, and you didn't want the tank, and you didn't want the terrain and everything, it's too good a discount to pass up, I'll be honest. I really have a hard time buying any other boxes except the faction starters, because it's such a great deal. Okay, we have whatever. Ah, yeah, this is the flying like balloon stuff. This is the infantry sprue, the basic one. So we should have, like, yeah, it's mostly infantry. Up there, we're gonna have the snipers and the basic infantry. Those with the little cap here are the basic infantry. Those are probably the snipers of the Italians. This is a conquistador. Looks very cool. And the priest. Okay, I have to admit, I don't want any priest in my army, because I'm like, maybe not. But this one holding what I guess is the Bible up high, like he's gonna summon the thunder or something, is too cool. Like, I have to have some of him. Little banner holder here, very cool. The little tank, the Tonquette, which is extremely small. Like, I mean, compare the Tonquette main body and the real tank main body. It's ridiculous. I understand. Sorry, it's not called Tonquette, it's called the Charrette in the rules, but their real classification in the army would be Tonquette. Oh, we had a whole fight about how to call these things on the Discord. We have the little flying things for our little alliance buddies, because we do have few cavalry, including some aerial cavalry. Very nice. Some more Italian snipers, and I know everybody skips this part of the unboxing, but I do feel like I want to show you guys the sprues in case you want to take a look at it later on and make a pause or something. So it's good to have this. There is it a fleur de lis here? There is a fleur, no, what is it? Is it a body? Whatever it is. It looks like a fleur de lis a little bit. I don't know what it is. And you have this for the cavalry, the Bladestriders, the elite melee robot. When I saw the design, I was like, oh, absolutely not. And seeing the miniatures, I'm like, okay, they are actually cool concept there, which is vice versa. I really like the artwork of the Charrette. And when I saw where they put the turret and everything, I'm like, ah, so close, guys. We were this close to greatness. So again, you have 4 sprues, so the equivalent of 2 boxes of infantry. And here you've seen them countless times by now, but you know, we have more infantry and bases for everything, including those for the flyers. And you have some terrain, which is always nice. We love those terrains. It's really important to have at least some terrain in Armoured Clash. So if you guys don't have anything and you're starting in 10mm wargaming, having at least one faction starter battle group is great, because it's very modular. You can go to speed given painting. I made some tutorials, or like you can just ask in our Discord link in the description and we'll help you. It's important to have some terrain, especially if you want to play with infantry, because they really deserve buildings to try to stay alive. And what could be the threat that forces the infantry to stay in cover might be one of those giants rolling castle. Let's unbox this. I know you guys want to see it as much as I do. Oh, it's really tightly packed. Oh, it's actually, like, usually it's a little bit open, but here you really have to tear it apart. My god. Every time they make a behemoth bigger than the last one. This thing is huge. Okay, this is one side of the behemoth, and this is going to be another side. You can build it as a Valença or as a Ghent. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce the French or the Dutch way. And this thing is going to look massive, just like this. Like, compared to infantry, you can see the little archway, like passage here. This is gonna be beautiful. Thank you for having all this lined up. It's gonna look golden and beautiful. You have the heat lance, which is the biggest heat lance we have ever seen for the Valença. This is going to be all the rockets, which really look like the rocket batteries from the Alliance in Dystopian Wars. Nice. If you don't use the rockets, you can use this generator. Like, this is for the Valença alongside the giant heat lance. And if you play the Ghent, you just put this on top, and yeah, we don't... Which heat generator? If you go scroll back 5 seconds, you might see my cat just jumping up there in the background. You got this giant thing to put in the front in case you want to play it as a Ghent, as a troop transport. And my god, this door is beautiful. It's a very French thing to like stare at beautiful doors, because we have a lot of them in the old towns. But damn, this one is nice. The gun batteries, oh my god, Did mine get broken? No. Well, I guess it did. And it's absolutely not this. But yeah, we have some nice gun batteries there, and I need to find back mine. Yeah, it seems to be gone. I have the little thing here. Sorry, I'm just a little bit sad about my turret. Because at least I know it didn't fly away because it was really hermetically closed. But yeah, it's not there. And I got everything here. Yeah, well, it happens. Well, it allows me to tell you that, guys, like, one thing that I do know about War Cradle support is that if you do tell them, they absolutely will send you a replacement. I hope I will tell them this thing, might even send me the whole thing back. I only had good experience with War Cradle support, and here, just a little email, and it's gonna be fine. This being said, I will get all of this painted to the highest level, and I'm very excited to bring it to you for battle reports and stuff. Look at this, it's very heavy actually, and even the inside is quite detailed. Love it. This being said, let's now go to the longer half of the video, much longer half I believe, because there are a lot of things to say. We're gonna see the alliance, their playstyle, the battle groups, how to build your list, and every single unit, how to play them, and what is their strength and weaknesses. So buckle up, get some tea, get some coffee, go get a wine, who am I to tell you anything? Get some activity, go cleaning or paint, and let's go for the deep dive for the alliance. And let's go for the second longer half of the video, where we deep dive into everything you need to know about the alliance, how to play it, how to what play style, the different units, the battle group, how to make your list, etc., etc. As always, guys, it's gonna be a long part, and you know that it's a long video because you clicked on it. So as always, timestamps if you want to skip to a specific part. But we're gonna use our usual thing. As always, remember that it's for the Orbat 1.0, so still like the first Orbat. There might be some rework, but the alliance as a faction I think works well. We're gonna there are a few things that I think could be changed, especially for the super heavy. We'll talk about it if the rules change, but it's very minor. What we're gonna say is really the core of the faction. If you like the design, go for it. Like that's always the best thing. The gameplay and the power comes and goes, but also be careful because the alliance has a very specific play style if you want to play it like competitively, if such a thing exists in Armoured Clash. So be careful. There are some mini gameplays as always, but the true pure alliance gameplay is a bit more complex than for other factions. Let's take a look at this in detail. First of all, and I block the text. First of all, let's talk about the alliance playstyle. Like, first of all, who are they? Who are those guys? And how do they play? Well, as a concept, it's basically all the Latin countries that united on the behest of France, and they are regrouped. They're not unified, but they are an alliance, like it's in the name, and they're all working together for the betterment of the whole. So France is the main country that kind of like overshadows everything, thanks to the Prince President Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, so Napoleon III in our history, which is much more steampunk in this version than in the real life, even though in real life he was a little bit as well. Italy as well, one of the big power. The second big main power of the alliance is Italy, with a lot of automatas, a lot of inventions, kind of like the Vinci faction in Rise of Legends. We have Spain also with some automatas and stuff, and much more focused on the aerial part of the alliance. On Dystopian Wars, they have the aerial ships, and here also you will see Portugal, which I don't know what they do actually in the Armoured Clash, but they make lots of building constructions, naval stations and stuff. It's a stereotype, yes, but that's how it is. I'm not sure we have Portuguese units here. And finally, the third big, massive member of the alliance is the SUSA, Socialist Union of South America. Basically, like Karl Marx in this history went to South America, and the communist revolution happened there and not in Russia. So they are allied de facto into the alliance, like they are oppressed by other factions, like the Union. The Americans try to invade them and stuff. So they are allied with France and the rest of the alliance, kind of like against their will. I'm exaggerating a lot, but it's they have to be allied, and they send some troops to help. And alliance, France especially, sends technology to them. So there is this whole exchange thing. It's a bit weird because the alliance, especially the European part, is very much centered around faith and the Pope and the Vatican and all these things.
Yeah, it's even represented in the rules. You saw there's a lot of priest units and stuff, but there are also like the communist part of South America. I don't understand how it's related because they say like yeah, it's like the uh, in French it's convergence des luttes. Like we fight against oppression, both you and us, and that's why we are good. But communism, at its heart, is like the main enemy of communism after capitalism is religion. So, communists and priests working hand by hand sounds like the start of a joke. I don't know how it works in the fluff. It's not really explained. I don't know, but it's how it happens, and why not? This little fluff part on the side, the cool thing about the alliance, if you're not part of France or Italy or something, is that they are underdogs. They were kind of like victims of the crown, of the imperium. They were invaded left and right, at war with the Sultanate and stuff, and they were on the back foot. They were losing ground, and they are barely starting to hold, especially because they start to band together, which gives them strength, and also because of the new technologies from Italy with the automatas and from the French with the heat lances and the repulsor generator and all this new kind of like enlightened type of tech that Napoleon got from his alliance with the enlightened. So it's really kind of like the opposite feeling of the Crown. Crown is this massive empire, very powerful armies and fleets, but they are spread out thin and they are crunching. Like they are starting to become smaller and smaller because other powers are rising. Well, the alliance is the most rising power in the dystopian age. So there were underdogs, they're still underdogs, but they are taking some terrain. They are gaining ground in South America, in Europe, across the world through like little islands, little colonies that they take from the crown and from other forces like the empire, like the Union as well, like from the Sultanate and stuff. So they, if you don't like this like 40k feeling of like, oh, we are on the back foot and we are falling, this is the opposite. This is more like, I don't know, the like the UCM in Drop Fleet. Like we were small and now we are taking back our rightful place in the universe. Well, on Earth, at least here. Now that we have said this about the fluff of the Alliance, how do they play? And the thing is, they are, if you want to play the real Alliance playstyle, they are unpredictable. There are a few things, especially with the faith mechanism, where basically when you play Morale, there are some tricks. We will not go too much in detail here because otherwise there is a whole Tactica to make about this. But basically, you can, when you fail Morale, usually you're very sad and you don't want that. Here, you can even let your units fail Morale, which something you can always do, but sometimes you really want this because it basically gives you an extra play on the activation game, which can be very strong, but you need to understand when to fail a morale, to use this faithful rule, to be able to activate another unit in vicinity, to have your good placement, and then yes, you have a broken morale, so you might maybe will collapse. The main infantry of the alliance, when they break the morale, they collapse, like they run away like scared dogs, like these. The only faction that really runs away like this, like spreading out and stuff, breaking from formation. So there is really this duality of like playing with morale. I'm not sure it's super balanced, but it's for sure, even if it were balanced, it would be very hard to apply efficiently this whole faith part. However, they also have other tricks. They have quite a few automatas which are efficient, and they have drop pods, which means they can apply pressure very efficiently through their aerial rotorcraft units and through their drop pods, launching tons of elite infantry efficiently wherever they want. Yeah, they're kind of close to the Commonwealth in this sense, except the Commonwealth is really like hammer and anvil. The alliance is more fluid, let's say, in the sense that they are not holding the front line without moving. They are more like letting the enemy approach and then striking from every side. They're almost Eildari in a way of how they play with drop pods. So be careful about that. They're gonna be hard to master. It's probably one of the army alongside the Sultanate, which have been announced today as I record the video. Um, Alongside the Sultanate, they're probably going to be one of the highest skill ceiling army in the game. However, there are going to be some play styles that are classical. They do have good multi-purpose fortresses, which I think will be at the core of their gameplay because it's one of the only way you can hold the front line. They also have some very, very efficient transport/tanks that are also multi-role, and they do have a lot of cavalry that play into this like whole fluid attack from the whole side um, gameplay. So you can play the what is written here. You can play the classical mechanized infantry game well with your Susa infantry, with your Légionnaires. Légionnaires are really going to be your bread and butter, I believe, because you can send them through drop pods. You can send them through the giant fortress. You can really use them in many ways, same as your infantry. You can use your Légionnaires also in the open-topped tank to shoot around. Like there are so many ways if you want to play the classical mechanical game to make it a regular faction fighting on the front line. This was a bit, let's not overwhelmingly positive, but you can see the other way around. The Alliance has many playstyles, probably more than many factions. Like, I mean, the Imperium is going to be static. Like, you want to play fast with the Imperium, you cannot, or it's going to be extremely hard. The Alliance, if you want to play competitive, you can make this super tricky Alderae playstyle. But there are many ways to play because there are many nations. If you focus on one nation, you can make a horde of infantry with Susa with a lot of faith mechanics and double activation and just a horde of wave after wave that attack, break, rally, re-attack, and stuff. You can make a very mechanized, very elite force with the French. We can have a lot of automatas and a lot of cavalry and melee cavalry and shooting cavalry with the Italians. So they're really all the play styles in one. If you want to use all of them at the same time, it's going to be harsh. But if you want to specialize in one way, it's going to be easier to play. And with just a little bit of the other two main sub-factions to be able to give you what you miss. So yeah, I never talk so much about the play style for other factions, but here there's a lot to say, and I hope that you understand that they can do about everything. All right, with that being said, what do we got? Oh my God, as you can see, there is so much stuff in there. Let me put the logo very small for now. And yeah, you have for 150 euros, tons of stuff. Like, look at the list. Look at the picture. There is so much stuff all around. So you've seen it in the unboxing, but yeah, you have tons of infantry, tons of cavalry. Not so many tanks here. You have the 2 big drop pods and the 4 big Navarre type artillery tanks, and that's it. Even the Charrette is quite small, like this cavalry tank, let's call it. And you're gonna have some terrain, of course, and you have the giant Ghent or Valença Landfortress slash Landship, which is good. I mean, I do enjoy the Alliance infantry. You do have a lot of painting time ahead of you for this box. Like, if you're looking for the painting time per year spent, I think this is going to be a very good box for you because you have a lot. Remember that if you go through my Ubi Place, you have minus 15% of this box, so that's already a lot. And if you choose Love and War Games in the basket as the content creator you want to support, we get 5% back. So it's like, thank you very much if you do that. It's one of the great way to support the channel. And yeah, it's minus 15% starts to make it very, very interesting. You have a lot of terrain, rules, tokens, the rule book indeed, the dice, the cards, the so many infantry, the tanks, the resin Landfortress, like so many things. It is a good deal. And we start to talk about the battle groups. So I'm not sure you can read super fast, but basically there are 3 battle groups. You need a main battle group, which is the one that I'm showing here, to unlock an auxiliary battle group, which are the 2 that we'll see later. So this you will have at least 1, and you probably will want 2 if you want to play at the bigger game. You need an alliance commander, of course, 1 up to 4 infantry. So you need a minimum of 1, can be bolstered, okay. Now, the specialty of the alliance, 1 minimum cavalry, so mandatory cavalry, and a maximum of 6. Yes, you heard that right. Maximum of 6 cavalry in the main battle group, because you have a lot of different types of cavalry. That's a lot, can be bolstered as well. 0 up to 4 alliance armor, straight up, okay, can be bolstered as well. So you can really just play the alliance faction battle group, and that's it. 0 up to 2 fortifications, including the drop pods. 0 up to 2 rotorcraft, it's going to be the Spanish flying balloons, and 0 up to 1 aircraft, which is nice, and it can be bolstered, and this is going to be the Malinois Interdictor. So a very flexible, very powerful alliance faction battle group. The mainstay units are the Susa Ordenenza Militia, and you also have the Charrette armored vehicle, like the French tanks. I'm very happy that we can spam them, which really makes me say, like, I think that, we'll talk about it for the Ghent Landfortress. I think they are meant to be played together, the Ordenenza and the Charrette, and I think they can both be transported at the same time by the Ghent Fortress. We'll talk about it later. The main bonus for this is the unwavering faith, and this I'm going to read it out to you. I said we would not deep dive too much, but let's read the rule actually. When a faithful unit, it's a keyword that you can give through a unit, but it's a keyword. When a faithful unit fails a discipline test, so you lose your morale, then you can select another faithful unit within 6 inches, so quite short, and that has not yet been activated. Now they are coordinated, and for the round. And units that are already coordinated are okay. So it means that when you fail your morale test, you can immediately make a double activation with someone else. So it can be useful if you don't really care about that or you have a plan to fail on purpose, this to gain basically a double activation now or later. How useful is it going to be? I don't think it's going to be terrifically useful. I think it's a nice consolation prize. I think if you have a lot of faithful units, it's going to be fun and it's going to make some headache to your opponent. I just don't think that it's such a powerful rule. Not everybody is faithful, and failing a moral test is always bad. Again, this is a good consolation prize and it makes you want to pack your faithful together. Is it strong enough that you want to really lose on purpose a faith test, like a moral test, like they said in the blog, just to activate this? I think it's maybe 1 out of 50 situations when you're gonna want really to fail the moral test on purpose. And the other 2 auxiliary battle groups. So there is the Conclave auxiliary battle group, so the one from the Pope. You're gonna have a commander. You're gonna have 1 up to 4 alliance infantry. 2 of them can be bolstered. Nice, that's actually good. The armor, the tanks, you can have minimum of 2 up to 4, so that starts to be quite a lot. Again, 1 of them can be bolstered, and 0, 3 cavalry / fortification. So much more about the infantry and the armored units. I realize that my take too much space putting the logo here. You have a lot of mainstay. You also have the Ordenenza Militia, but you also have the Avignon mobile chapels. It's those that give the faithful aura. The Corregedor armored transport, very, very good transport units. One of the best in the game, I would say, a bit slow, but really tough. And when you have elite fragile infantry, it's exactly what you want. And also the Navarre artillery tank, which is the artillery version. Like all the 3 big tanks are mainstay units in this one. And the interesting thing about this auxiliary battle group is that when a faithful unit is suppressed but not disordered, you may add 2 attack dice to every single of the unit's attack dice pool. Which sounds a lot, but like the big fortress cannot be faithful anymore. It was announced that they would, and probably they realized it would be too strong. So that is nice, but again, it feels like a consolation prize. You need to be suppressed but not disordered, which happens. It absolutely happens to be suppressed and not disordered. However, do you want absolutely to take this auxiliary battle group to fill it up here and have this unit? I mean, it's nice. All of this for 2 attack dice is cute. Will I really want to make this conclave force work and have to track who is faithful, who is not, where are my Avignon chapel to get the bonus for 2 attack dice? And you need to be suppressed. It's not permanent. It's not like, okay, you are in the aura of Avignon chapel, you have 2 dice, which would be nice. Or you're faithful, you have +1 dice, and maybe another 2 if you are in the vicinity of the Avignon chapel, which would make sense. Here, you need to make this specific auxiliary battle group, need to be in range or be faithful, and you need to be suppressed, and then you gain 2 attack dice to kind of like compensate the fact of being suppressed. Uh, yeah, not amazing. I do like though that you can bolster quite a few alliance infantry units in there. And then we have Les Aigles Impériaux, auxiliary battle group. Don't read like it's a mistake. L'Aigle Impériaux, it's hurts my little French heart to read it like this. A little type mistake. It's a very interesting battle group, Les Aigles Impériaux, because you don't have a commander. You cannot have a commander. That's it. Okay, that's very fun. Because there is no legionary command unit, you can have 0 up to 2 alliance infantry. They have to be Légionnaires, cannot be anything else. Okay. You need minimum of 2 up to 6 alliance cavalry. 2 of them can be bolstered, so you can just put 2 cavalry bolstered, boom. Wow, okay. 1 minimum and up to 3 rotorcraft can be bolstered. Okay, interesting as well. 0 up to 2 fortification / armor, which is not much, but you're gonna need them to transport your legionnaires for sure, one way or another, drop pods or corregedor. And minimum of 0, maximum of 1 aircraft, which can be bolstered. Okay, if you want to spread out your Malinois. I'm not sure you're gonna want so many Malinois. Your mainstay are going to be the French Légionnaires, obviously. Otherwise, the detachment is not legal. Almost like you want to fill it up. The Destreza Bladestriders, so Italian melee cavalry. The Becerillo War Dogs for the Italian war dogs, like the Automata War Dogs, by the way, and the Avispa Gyro-automata, the Spanish flying drones, hunter-killer drones, which sounds very sci-fi when I say it like this, but that's what they are. So you have these quite strong restrictions. What do you gain? And this is where it starts to be very interesting. Once per round, after you make a discipline test for a unit, you can choose to replace, and pay attention here. So you make a discipline test, you check the card, you can choose to replace the Command and Conquer Conquest card that you just picked with a card from your hand. So okay, it's reversed. So you pick up a 3 or 8 or a 10. You can replace it with another card that would probably make it win because you probably will want, or make it fail if you really want to fail and you have a terrible card. So the one that you had randomly, you put it in your hand. You can keep it for later to activate an order, a valor effect, and stuff. And you replace it with the stability of a card that you had in your hand before. And so you make this kind of like switch. It's called Brilliance of the Prince President. And I think this is very strong. This is something that makes you want to build this auxiliary battle group. It's not limited to something for, it's not only when you make a discipline test for your units in this battle group, unlike the Conclave. So it's really for your entire army. And you don't need a commander unit to activate this because you don't have a commander. So the opponent cannot remove this bonus from you. And I'm pretty sure every single one of my alliance list, except those at small formats, are going to start with a normal battle group here, followed by Les Aigles Impériaux, because it's the cards are very useful, very powerful in this game. Having this flexibility of checking the rules and maybe making sure you can succeed your discipline test because you're going to put a card from your hand, so you know what you're going to put, and grabbing back the card that you just picked up, it's not thrown away, and maybe it was a very good card and you actually keep it. Now, this is very, very good. Like, it's a very powerful support for your card game. All right, let's get going for the, oh my god, my logo is really everywhere. For checking every single one of the units, I try a new format. I don't put all the rules here because the rules evolve little by little. You start to know them if you play Armoured Clash. I will still tell you what it does, but it was really starting to feel overloaded on the slides. Having every single, here I would have to put the names, like the descriptions for like 8 rules, maybe 10. So I'm like, maybe let's not put it. Let me know what you think in the comments if you want me to put it back or not. We're going to start with the Valença Landship, which is an armored. It's not a command unit, but I wanted to start with this because many Alliance players will want to maybe start the army for this. As you can see in the bottom left of the screen, it is a giant land fortress with a naval class heat lancet on board. Like, this thing is huge. It shoots like the Death Star, and it costs, if you play 2,000 points, it's 1/4 of your army. Side note, it looks absolutely brilliant. I love it so much. Almost as much as the next one we're going to see. 460 points, obviously your most expensive unit in the entire Orbat, but this thing is powerful. It is speed of 6, not great. Damage limit of 14, which is quite significant. Defense of 5, from everywhere. Okay, really, really well. It is slow, it is large, it is ponderous, it is just a moving castle that is very, very slow. It has Ponson 4, not great. When it explodes, it's Spectacular Demise 8. So sum it up, it explodes very hard if it explodes. And it has all out attack 3, so it can shoot its 3 different lines every turn. So it's just shooting everywhere. It has anti-light attacks, so probably the small turrets and stuff. Maximum range of 20, so it's okay. It starts at 10 and then it grades at 7 and 4. It's turret, so you can shoot everywhere. Okay, fine, cute. The main cannon, maximum range of 36. The heat lancet, it's 16 dice. You're like, oh, 16 dice, it's okay. It's not so amazing, especially when I tell you it's slow to fire, which makes sense. Like, it's a Death Star, it needs to reload sometimes. However, it is devastating. Okay, so it means like it makes a little bit more extra damage. Cute. Siege Breaker sounds obvious, but yeah, you're gonna destroy one building or two in a line. In a line, yes, absolutely, because it is coruscating, and this is a big one. It is a Death Stars. It's you point it at the enemy. It's slow, ponderous. You moves. It's hard to have a unit in your front arc, but then everything within 36 inches, everything within 36 inches of your death ray is going to receive 16 dice devastating siege breaker. So you can, I think you can destroy like 3 buildings in a row, obliterating everything inside, especially if they are small units, and just like you, it's just gonna be so fun. Like it is the Death Star. You make 36 range. I mean, it's not nothing, and everything under it gets vaporized by 16 dice, devastating. It's fun. Like I don't know if it's strong. It's 460 points, but it's tough. It has also anti-air turrets, 9 dice in turret at 14 inches. Not nothing at all. So it's nice. It's nice. Impact is cute. There's some sponson, high discipline, of course, but just the just the fact that you can shoot this giant laser would make me want to play Alliance if I didn't play it yet. Like it's gonna be so fun. Like it's a type of weapon. Like it's almost a template weapon. It's the type of weapon that you want in an epic sized game. Like this is a big angry volcano cannon. Like it's stronger than that, and it's of course you're gonna make pew pew sounds when you shoot it. Like obviously, like this is very fun. 460 point is huge. And it's just this. It's just a giant cannon shooting everywhere, being tough, and just vaporizing something every other turn. Something like vaporizing a line on the map every other turn. The Ghent Landfortress. So first of all, a shout out to our Belgian friends. Ghent is a beautiful city. And it's basically a Valença, which doesn't have the giant cannon, but it gains a lot. Look at the keywords. Actually, the Gaunt is when I decided let's try without putting all the rules, because look at this absolute laundry list of special rules that it has. 440 points gives you the same defensive profile, so speed 6, defense 5, damage limit of 14, discipline of 10. This thing is absolutely not moving anywhere. It also has the anti-aerial shooting rockets within the 14 inches, 9 dice before it degrades. The same anti-light like small guns, and it also has giant. Like if you see the mouse on the screen, this is the giant rockets that it shoots. It's also turret. It's anti-heavy, so it's your anti-tank unit. 20-inch range, and it's 10 dice. Goes to 7, goes to 4 with all-out attack 4, it can really do a lot, including assault ramp. It can use its assault ramp and still shoot every single one of its weapon, and it's 360 degrees. So it's really just going in the center, in the melee, and just shooting everywhere, every single turn. Spectacular demise 6, a bit less. So all-out attack, large ponderous, slow, the same. Sponson 4, the same. It is inspiring 3, which means that at the end of its activation, you will choose a unit, I think it's within 12 inches, and you will remove the suppress status. Very good. We like it. And it is mostly a mobile fortress carrying a lot of troops. It has capacity of 16, so it can, we'll see the rule, but it can take a full strength force of Légionnaires. It can take a reinforced horde of Susa Ordenenza, can really carry a lot of infantry. It has assault ramp, so one of the best rule for transport in the game, meaning it can move and use one of its action. Good that it has one action that it doesn't use to make an assault ramp movement. So the infantry unloads, then they are coordinated, and then it can just do their life. Very powerful. It also has carrier cavalry, which means it can take a non-reinforced, like a basic sized cavalry unit. Can be that if you want to play competitive, you can have the Destreza, the melee Italian cavalry that don't want to be caught out in the open. But if you really want to play the whole full fantasy, of course, you're going to put a squad of Charrette small tanks. So the main doors open, and you just have first the tanks rolling out, shooting their heat lancets, like very small heat lancets. And behind you have the infantry, the Legionnaires probably rolling out of the doors and shooting around. Such a cinematic thing. However, yeah, rule as written, and I don't think the rules were written before they knew there would be a unit that is both carrier and capacity. You cannot have at the same moment carrier and capacity activated. So either you transport infantry, either you transport cavalry. I really believe this thing is meant to carry both. So 16 stands of infantry maximum and a small unit of cavalry. I really believe that this is how the rules are meant to be played. I already asked War Cradle. They are checking this up with the rules team, and we should have an explanation. But I'm gonna continue thinking that this is how it's meant to be played because of the fluff, because of what is written, and because of just the fantasy of having this unit. It's a very good carrier unit. 440 points is a lot, but it makes first of all it's tough. It makes sure you carry your infantry. So again, Ordenenza very good, Légionnaires very good as well. Some cavalry. If you have to choose between infantry and cavalry, which again I don't think is the case, you never take cavalry. Like 100%, you take infantry all the time. Of course. If you can take both, yes, you might take Destreza to bring them to melee, or some Charrette, which also are quite fragile and would like to be at point blank without risking to be caught out in the open. The main rule that makes it competitive, like it could be fun, it could be like the Valença, it could be a very fun unit. The main thing that makes it very competitive is strong point. Strong point means that if the unit that is being carried, infantry or cavalry, can capture objectives, so usually yes, the Ghent itself can capture objectives. So it means this guy goes in the middle, shoots everywhere with all of its weapon, maybe unloads half of its troops with assault ramp. He keeps something inside, and it's gonna score objectives. It's one of the only so far, I think it's the only behemoth that can score objectives. So this thing just parks itself on top of an objective and be like, okay, come and get me. That's it. That's all it does. And it's really efficient. Uh, it is expensive, 440 points. Like, I think it's one of the most expensive behemoths in the game, but it's very tough. It looks beautiful. And I cannot not play two of those guys. Like the fantasy of having this giant fortress rolling around, shooting everywhere, dropping some tanks and infantry at the same time. It's too good. I need to buy another box. I need to do that. I'm very excited to bring the Ghent Landfortress on the table, and I have to say it is probably visually, conceptually, my favorite unit in Armoured Clash so far. Like it's exactly what I wanted out of this game. Now, what I did not want out of this game, but they've really been growing on me, is the Ordenenza Militia. It is the cheapest infantry in the game. 25 points, let's remember we play at 2000, gives you 8 stands, and 65 points give you 24 stands. We made the calculation. You can have, I don't remember, but if you want to max it out, I think you can have something like, I don't want to say something like 300 or 500 stands. It was absolutely ridiculous at 2000 points. But you don't want it so much because they have a special rule, rabble. So they are very cheap. They are probably the worst infantry in the game. I exaggerate by not much. They have defense, like they're low discipline, low defense. They're not fast. They can only shoot their in against light units 4, 8, 12 when you're there at full strength. So nothing, but their main rule is that they are here to be cannon foders. You can buy command variants, which you probably will want sometimes to unlock some battle slots and stuff. 50, 70, 90 points. Okay, they gain inspiring too, so that's cute actually. And their negative rule is a rabble. If they fail a discipline test, and let me tell you, with discipline 5, you will fail them often, they run away. This is as always. However, instead of just pulling back like a unit that has been suppressed and now is disordered, they don't keep their formation. So they go from a packed formation, like shoulder to shoulder, they become open formation and they have to spread out. So they just, every man for himself, and they just run away. A bit sad about this rule because, as you can see, they have the uniforms colors of the French soldiers of the end of the 19th, beginning of the 20th century, with the red pants and the blue tops and stuff. It's really the same. So I want to color them in my pure French army as French soldiers, and it makes me sad that French soldiers are the only army in the game, or Suzanne Ordoneza, that have so little discipline that they, as soon as things go bad, they kind of like drop their rifles and run, and every man for himself. It's almost this, but such is life, and I guess people will make the usual French joke, ha ha ha, surrender, run away, ha ha ha, lots of laugh. They are faithful, though, so there can be some play here. You can give them extra dice, you can rally them. There are a few things that you can do. You can make double activations. Okay, nice. But their main thing is that they are extremely cheap. They will occupy the table, and if you put them in a forest, in a building especially, for the point cost, they're going to be extremely annoying to remove. They're your meat shield. You know, some units have a high defense and higher hull points, higher damage limit. That's how they tank. The alliance tanks by having a lot of bodies to put in the front lines for very cheap. There is almost no blast weapons, so you just have tons of bodies. You can put 100 stands in front of the opponent and be like, okay, try to deal with them. And in the meantime, I will have some drop pods coming behind you. My fortress will take the objectives. My cavalry will flank them. The Ordenenza Militia is going to be the core of your front line. They're going to run away, but they're going to rally at some point, come back, etc. They're going to die, a lot of them. Like almost, I'm pretty sure at the end of the game, almost the entirety of the Ordnance and militias will be dead, but that's a sacrifice you should be ready to make because that's how you're going to win games. All your other units are glass cannon-ish. Those are absolutely not. Just throw them in the front line and have the opponent have to deal with them. And that's what they're here for, and take objectives. Also, you can put them, of course, in a Ghent in order to make the Ghent score. They go very well as well with the transport, the Corregedor, that we will see a bit later. Because, yeah, I didn't specify, but you saw that they are 8, 16, 24 stands, so they are the large size of infantry, obviously. Now, the Italian, the Alpini Rangers, though the Alps or French as well, could be French soldiers, I don't know. Those guys are your snipers, your pioneers, and they are also your storming party units. So they do a lot. They are expensive. 4 stands, so the very elite type of infantry, 4, 8, 12, for 50 points, the cheapest, 85, 130. So, okay. I think you're going to want to keep them small, like 4 stands for 50 points. They're of Vanguard 8, convenient. Pioneers, so they don't really care about the forest. Pathfinders, I will tell you in a second, but that's their big rule. Irregular, so they don't stand shoulder to shoulder, they can spread out, sure. And Storming Party, which means they have easier time taking a building. It's not very efficient because they have lit, like, not great melee, but it means they can really go fast in an unoccupied building with Vanguard and stuff to really take it very, very fast. So that's how I think they really want to play. They have an anti-light unit, so the sniper attacks, 357, suppressive, sure. And they have a big attack, which is a trap. And this way, I need to explain to you, it's anti-light, anti-heavy, 6, 9, 12 penetrating. So you pop up a tank every single time almost. However, it is reactive and trap. This one is really cute, the trap. It says that it can be done against any enemy unit that instead of just drawing from line of sight, you need to check where, like, kind of like, you don't check line of sight. You take a unit that is in difficult terrain, and this unit can be victim of this trap. So it's kind of like they went onto the battlefield before and put traps, and you say like, oh, okay, you put your tanks or your artillery or whatever in the forest. Well, boom, trap, and then they pop off. That sounds really fun. So that's very good. I don't think it's only in melee, because otherwise it's only when it happens only when you get charged by enemy vehicles or something, and then it doesn't sound really great. And I don't think it's what it means. I think it really means that you can inflict 6, 9, or 12 damage on any unit that goes in a forest. And for this, I think it's very powerful. However, it's also reactive, so you can only use it if you didn't shoot and you are in Overwatch. And I'm I'm trying to imagine like how it happens. If it's only reactive because you get charged, it's terrible, really terrible, because the opponent knowing that will not charge a unit with this keyword being in Overwatch for sure. If it is indeed anywhere in the map and you are in Overwatch, you don't shoot, and then your opponent is scared of going into any forest, then it's fun. It's not OP, I believe, but it is quite strong for 50 points. Do note that you will get the reload keyword, so you will need to spend another turn reloading to remove this. So either you snipe infantry in a very cute way, either you stay in forest and stuff with your Pathfinder ability, and you make the enemy being very scared of going into forest. Pathfinders basically mean that friendly units in a bubble around your Alpini Rangers consider difficult terrains like forests and stuff as open terrain. So they're really like, they are pathfinders. They find the path, and then the rest of the units go fast through the forest, which is cute, convenient, but not something you want to build around. Need to clarify if this trap attack can be done only in melee, or if we can say that they have traps all around. If it's only in melee, not an amazing unit. Fine support, but you have better. If it is indeed a trap unit, it is going to be one of your main way to deal with long-range artillery in forest or long-range enemy firepower, period. The Becerillo War Dogs, those guys also have interesting things. They have all-out attack too, so they can both do things like in melee and range anti-light units. They are pioneers. We understand they go in forest easily. Irregular, they are spread out. Durable, it actually means the enemy's explosives count a bit less. So it's actually for a unit that is defense 2 damage limit 1 for only 4 units for 75 points is nice. Is it going to save you all the time? No, but it's something, especially if you stay in the forest as well. And they are hunters. So it means they can indeed gain victory points when they win a melee combat. And they might win a melee combat against enemy infantry. I mean, if you fight enemy infantry, they're going to be suppressive. First of all, they're dogs. And they have, at small scale, 6 attacks, can go up to 10, can go up to 14. I mean, it's cute. Is it strong? I'm not sure for the point cost. But they are okay. They have short range light attack. They have all out attack too, so they can use both technically if there is an enemy very short. So you can soften them up with a light and then charge them. I think they're a bit expensive for what they do. They die fast. They are pioneers and stuff, and they are durable and irregular. But against enemy infantry at very close range, if you get the upper hand, sure. But they are low speed, low defense, even with durable, and high pawn cost make me say, guys, that's a tough choice. However, they're going to be very good. They are faithful as well. They're going to be very good if you really want to make them work in a pack of Corregedor transport, because they are 4x4, so you can really easily pack them into like even a reinforced unit in a squadron of Corregedor or in the Ghent Landfortress if you want. And those guys, but especially Corregedor, and those guys, you can put them in melee. You can shoot from the Corregedor at point blank, and then, I don't know, 10 dice at point blank. It's cute and highlight. It gives you Corregedor some teeth. And then you go out, like, and later on, you have your 14 dice, shock, suppressive, melee attack. Sure, and you cross the battlefield. It's okay. It's not game breaker. They're not extremely good, but if you want to play them, I think you have options for delivery in the alliance list. Now we start to talk about the stars of the show, the French Légionnaires. 5 models base, so 10 and 15 if you reinforce them or if you bring them at full strength. They are aggressively priced, I would say. They are fragile. They are speed 4, so not very fast. Defense 2, damage limit 1. Okay, so they die. They die very fast. However, they're only 55 points, 95 and then 145. And they have 2 types of attack. First of all, they put their laser gun, like their heat rifles, at normal fire. It's only anti-light. 5 dice, then 11, then 17. So it's a good attack. Sure, it's okay. It's devastating, so you're probably gonna pop another stand if you shoot at 2 damage limit infantry or something, or it's going to be rare because you're shooting at infantry. It doesn't change so much. And if you put it at the superpower mode, it will become slow to fire, so you will gain reloading and stuff. So it's not something you can shoot every turn. However, you gain a bit more range, 14 inch. Okay, sure. And you're always considered, by the way, in both type of attack, you're always at full power because it's a heat weapon. So you're always considered to be close to the opponent. Very good. And what you gain is that it becomes an anti-heavy attack. So then you can shoot tanks with 5, 11, or 17 dice. And let me tell you, that's not the same deal anymore when you can put 17 dice on an enemy tank with devastating. Do note that if you're a bit too far from the enemy infantry, overloading your weapons does not allow you to shoot at infantry. So you cannot shoot at light units at 14 inches, something to pay attention to. They are faithful, those units, very good. They are Legionnaires, so they can go in drop pods. And for me, there are three main ways to drop them. With a drop pod, the drop capsule, sorry, that we will see in a second. You can put your Legionnaire as well in the Corregedor transport, which is something I think is going to be very efficient as well because they can shoot 10 or 14 inches out of it. Very great. And finally, in the Ghent fortress, you can put 15 guys of the Legionnaires in the Ghent Landfortress, and you can threaten to throw 17 dice at any unit, light or heavy, that comes around. And they're going to capture objective in the meantime. Really great unit. I really think I want tons of them. And good job, War Cradle. I'm going to buy so many boxes to have so many Ordenenza and so many Legionnaires. Plus, look at the miniatures. They're so cool. I skip fast over them, but really they're going to be one of your core choices in an alliance force, which was to be expected, and we're happy to see it the case. They're a good, flexible unit with many ways to play them. They're not overpowered, but they're very flexible, both in their targets, in the way you can play them, in the delivery methods you can use to drop them on the battlefield. Now, the Globonauta Snipers. We go to Spain with those guys. They are aerial rotorcraft, which is the only thing keeping them alive because they are defense 2, damage limit 1, 2 models. So if infantry could shoot at them, they would instantly die. They have no armor. The second any entire weapon in the game shoots at them, you can remove them. They're dead. That's it. But their defense is the fact that they are flying high. They are shrouded as well, which, okay, is another part of their defense. They are 55 points for 2, all the way to 145 points for 6. And they are snipers. High discipline. They are ponderous, so they'll be careful. They don't move as they want, which makes sense for flying balloons. They have Vanguard 15, so they can really go behind a building or something, or stay safe. And they have something called Soar 2 inches, which means instead of moving 6 inches, they can move 2 inch. You're like, well, okay, sure, but why would I do that? Because if they do that, they are considered size 10 and they can basically shoot over anything in the game. So the gameplay with those guys is that they use Vanguard and maybe movement to hide behind a building, behind a mountain, behind something where they are kind of hidden. And when they activate, they soar 2 inches. So basically, they stay immobile almost. They just go up because it's a flying balloon. They just go all the way up in the clouds, use their sniper, shoot something at 36 inches, kill it, and then go back down from the skies back into their hiding spot, and being also protected from light, anti-light attacks because they are aerial. It's very fun. It's very fun. They're not very expensive. The concept is so cool. I really want to play it. Are they strong? Not really. Like they have 3, 5, 7 dice precision, so you can shoot a sniper. It's great, and penetrating, which means against tanks, tanks will fear it. If you roll hot, you can pop out a tank, and the command tank of a squad of 6 Galahads of the Crown. The enemy has to respect that. They also have the same type of attack against enemy aerial units. Bit less, but if you shoot down an enemy aircraft from the air with those, it's gonna be so cinematic. Like, I mean, what the hell is this kind of sniper? Like, this is Marvel level. But why not? Why not? So they're very good. They're very useful, and they will pop out one commanding stand or tank per turn. Probably, if it's a tank. It's not certain, but still. Like 3 dice, you're not sure of popping a Galahad for sure. But still, they're good. They're just good. For 55 points, I think they're great. Do I want to put them at 145 to stabilize it? Maybe. I might rather try to spread them out and have 2 of those guys here, 2 of those guys there, and then put them, I don't know, on Overwatch or pop a few shots and just being harassers on the flanks for relatively cheap and just being annoying, just being nuisance. I really like the concept of those guys. They're not game changing, but they are part of the little sting of the mosquito that will really annoy your opponent and make him say like, okay, I cannot just try to temporize and stuff. I need to charge and just deal with the opponent. They are. It's a bit weird to say this of like snipers in hot air balloons, but they are your main answer to the enemy artillery. You have crown unit in a forest in whatever super heavy artillery piece. You put those guys, they pop up, they snipe. I don't know, they snipe the crew or something, and you can deal with enemy artillery with a lot of small sniper shots from those Globonautas. Love these units. They're very, very useful. A very different type of unit is the Avispa Gyro-automata Avispa drones. Why is it say twice Avista? I don't know. Ask the Spanish. 65 points all the way to 170. The same concept, except they can soar a bit further, probably because they're drones. They're also shrouded. They also have low defense at 2, but damage limit of 2, so a bit higher because they're drones. Okay. They're automata, so they cannot score and they cannot get orders, etc. Sure. Vanguard 15 as well. They are turrets. Like they are drones. You put them somewhere. They shoot 360 degrees with turrets, and with lock-on, they can shoot efficiently. They are anti-light, anti-heavy, anti-aerial. You need to choose, of course, which one you're gonna do. The anti-heavy and anti-light, anti-heavy and anti-aerial are exactly the same. I don't know why they didn't put heavy/aerial. I mean, look with me, guys, but they're 8 inches, 16 inches, 357 lock-on turret. For me, they are exactly the same. I don't know the difference, but you can choose. So they are good for me, it's mostly anti-aerial. If the enemy has some aircrafts coming around, you can use those guys to pop them off as they arrive. So cute anti-air, 16 inches. Or you can use them as anti-infantry. Like infantry moves within 16 inches, boom, 4, 6, or 8 attacks, hitting well with lock-on, and turret like really like 360, and suppressive, so they might even fail their morale discipline test right after. They are shrouded. They are SOAR 10, so they can really like jump around. They're nice. They're nice. I like them. I prefer the utility of dealing with enemy artillery that we've seen with the Globonauta just before. But those Avistas are also good. They have different roles, and they're really like anti-everything turrets. Mostly effective against infantry to get them suppressed, or against aerial because anti-air is always useful, especially at 16 inches with lock-on. And that's how I would play them. And if there is nothing in range, yeah, sure, shoot at some tanks. Why not? The Bersaglieri Outriders, Italian cavalry that looks like they are straight out of Tatooine. 5 models, up to 15, 70 points, 120, 180. Okay, so middle price for cavalry. They hover, so they fly around, kind of like the Union cavalry. Irregular, spreading out, sure, good. So they're really like Outriders, like around. Defense 2, damage limit 1. Yes, they are shrouded, but yes, they will die extremely fast as soon as someone shoots at them. They have good anti-light longish range attack, 4, 8, 12 dice. So good indeed for harassing units, sure. And they have, actually, this is their main good thing, good anti-heavy attacks, 3, 5, 7 dice at up to 20 inches with penetrating. So again, those guys can deal with enemy tanks charging down the center. Just 1 point of damage, and the unit, like the model, is gone. Same for infantry, of course, but this we don't care. But high damage limit units really don't like that. And you can hunt, you can hunt enemy artillery with that as well, if you don't want to use the Globonauta, for example. They're good. Like they are a bit expensive. They are very fragile. They are very much glass cannons. You really want to keep them in forest, keep them shrouded, keep them out of line of sight. That's really what you want to do. And yep, this is an efficient unit, but it is going to take some skills to use them. So be careful, guys. They are not like a point and delete unit. You need to use them well. But if you do, they are going to pay them their points back very fast. Like in a couple rounds of shooting, they're already paid themselves way over. The Destreza Bladestriders are the assault melee Italian cavalry. Those guys are very cool. I saw the first artwork and I was a bit sad, like it didn't speak to me. And then I saw the miniatures and I was like, okay, that's really cool. It's basically a small melee Vinci mech suit, and it's extremely cool. They are fragile. Defense 2, damage limit 2. So yeah, be careful, especially since you have only 4 models. So they are light as well. So anybody shooting will deal damage to them. Yes, they are shrouded, but again, for the number of models you have, you can die fast, especially since they cost 80 points for the small. And you really probably will only play them at small unit size. You can upgrade them at 135 or 210, but you really lose a lot of flexibility of size. They are irregular, so they spread around. They're shrouded with said. They have onslaught, so if they win melee, you can use a card and make a overcharge again. Cool. They are melee masters, which means that whenever you attack them in melee, you have penalty, which is cute. I mean, it's nice. You cannot be efficient in melee against them because they are blade masters. It's very cool. Uh, you need this to hope to survive with defense 2 damage limit too, but it's nice. You're shrouded as well, so yeah, you hope on your opponent's losing more than on your own defense. And their melee equipment, they only attack in melee, is 6, 8, 14. You heard that right, 6, 8, 14, which means that your first group gives you +6, and then you only have +2 for paying extra 55 points to go to the next level. Yes, you have more health. Yes, it's nice, but it's not enough. You have precision, which is cute. You can use it to snipe out the enemy commander, whether it's a tank, whether it's an infantry, which is good. But yeah, if you put them at full strength, they go to 14 dice, which starts to be good for 210 points, and you're shrouded and everything. That can really be good. But I really see them as either being transported by the Ghent, either being around the forest and hiding and stuff, but they're not extremely fast with only 6 of speed. So yeah, if you can carry them in Ghent on top of Ordenenza Infantry, great. You keep them at 80 points and they go there and everybody's happy except your opponent. If it's not allowed to have at the same time infantry and at the same time cavalry, ask yourself if you want counterpunch for your Ghent and not to deploy hordes of infantry, or ask yourself like, how do I deploy them? Because they're fragile. They are shrouded, yes, but they will die fast. They're not they're not very fast. They're not very mobile, and they are some sort of cavalry, but I don't really see a good delivery mechanism for them beyond the Gaunt. And if you cannot take them on top of infantry, I don't see you taking them over infantry in the Gaunt. Still, they're not terrible. Like they're shrouded. Try to put them on the table. If you put 12 of them, try to hide them behind buildings and stuff and give them some defense. They're still going to be annoying to chew through, and they're going to punch very hard. Try to get them to charge the enemy's anti-tank tanks, for example, like Galahads again, because usually they don't have great anti-light firepower. And if they have very little dice against light units, being shrouded with defense 2 damage limit 2 is going to be annoying for them, and then you're going to punch them hard. I do believe face to face they do kill a unit of Galahads, but it's this type of unit that you want to hunt. If you charge enemy infantry in line ready to shoot you with like 20 dice of anti-light, you're not going to enjoy it at all. But still, cool unit. You can make it work, and actually great concept. The Charrette armored vehicle, also called Tanket. At some point, we had such a discussion on this on the Discord. This is tank cavalry. This I really want to love the model, but the concept art was so good with the turret a bit more in the front and stuff, and now it looks like a duck. Like I really don't like it anymore. But the concept is cool. It's a very small tank that counts as a cavalry, and it does a lot of things. It is cavalry unit, so it can score. Pointed out, you can score. It's not an armored unit; it's a cavalry unit. Still a heavy unit, obviously. You need anti-tank firepower to deal with them. You cannot just shoot a pistol and hope it dies. They're the same price as the Destreza, like the exact same cost. They are defense of 3, so quite high, but damage limit of 1. So as soon as you pop their defense, they die. So they're less threatened by penetrating weapons, but they're not shrouded, so they will die very fast as soon as your enemy has anti-heavy units. Their main defense, let's be honest, is that they are heavy compared to the Destreza. So the enemy needs dedicated anti-tank firepower. That's their main way of surviving. With damage limit 1, means they die fast. You do have 4 models when you buy them. So usually tanks, you buy them 2 by 2. Here you buy them 4 by 4, like cavalry. So that's good. 80 points, 135, 210. Really good. Their main weaponry is their hit lancet. So again, always considered to be at short range with them for the bonus. Good. 4, 7, 10 dice. So also fair. They are turrets, so you can shoot 360. Nice. And they are devastating. Okay. They're not amazing. They're cheap. They are going to be annoying to deal with. They're going to do some damage every turn. They're devastating. They can shoot light and heavy units. They are quite versatile, and they just look nice, small, cute tanks. Like, that's what they are. They are nothing more. They don't pretend to be more than what they are. And I like that. I really hope you can drop them out of a Ghent. It's still not going to be great. It's going to be 4 dice, anti-light or anti-heavy. You're still not going to do much, but it's just such a cool concept. And they're cute, and they can capture objective. That's the main thing. It allows the Alliance to drop heavy units that are capturing beyond the Ghent to hold objectives and not die as soon as the enemy points a gun at them. So it is a good scoring unit. It is irregular, so you can spread them out and take some terrain. Be careful, they are going to be vulnerable against melee infantry and melee cavalry. They are heavy, but in melee nobody cares. So if they get hit by a cavalry charge, they will die fast. Surprisingly. You remember this historical thing where they said like the Polish cavalry charged the German tanks? Well, actually consider the Polish would have won at this point if you try this against the Charrette. Another version of the cute little Charrette is the Hellequin, and this one is a bit cheaper, but it does a different role. It doesn't have anti-heavy attacks. It's a bit cheaper. Cavalry, okay, everything. Anti-light units, 4, 8, 12. So not devastating, but cute little anti-light attack, not on turret. And their main turret is anti-aerial only. It's lock-on, meaning that you never have penalty for opportunity fire. And 5 dice at 20-inch on lock-on is a threat. You have fair chance of shooting down an enemy aircraft with this for 70 points. And if you pay the upgrade and you bring 4 of those guys, sorry, 8 of those guys because they're for 120 points, 9 dice, you really have a big chance of just popping out of the sky anything that comes near. So a good unit, I would say. It brings something that the Alliance doesn't have. It can capture objectives, like nothing says it cannot. So I really see it as a good like side objectives flanking unit. I don't understand why the Charrette is more expensive than those guys. I think Charrette could afford to lose 5 points and those guys to gain 5 points, but it's not my place to judge. And it's really, really efficient. 20 inches lock on anti-air. It's great. Plus, it looks cute. It looks like a very small Wilbur. Like I love this little tank. Probably even more than the Charrette, if I'm being 100% honest. Um, I think one pack of those is auto include in Alliance. Reinforced or not, up to you. Even not reinforced is gonna put some headaches to your opponent. And I think having 2 packs of Hellequins, one on each flank, to have this 20-inch bubble, which is really not nothing, is going to be great. And if you play larger scale games, of course, you can scale up your Hellequin contingent. But this is a really good anti-air unit. Okay, now we go with the big boys, the Navarre. The Navarre artillery tank is a beast. Okay, I exaggerate a bit, but it's good. It's 120 points for 2 models, and it is tough and indirect. And then you're like, oh, but you said that it's not good when it's indirect and tough because you pay for something you don't use. Yes. However, I think this guy doesn't really care to be indirect. You can move it out in the open to shoot with your indirect, direct line of sight, seismic, slow to fire, suppressive giant mortar. It starts with 8 dice and it goes to 15, great, and then to 22, ouch. And so you shoot out in the open or in indirect, one or the other. You have spawns on 3 as well. And then you go back to hide as you reload. And while you reload, you can also maybe try to go on lock on, depending on your cards and your bonus and stuff. You lock on because you have also a 20-inch, not as strong anti-air firepower, 3, 5, 7. So that's good. Like it has defense 2, so defense 3 from the front, damage limit of 4. It's a good multi-role piece. If it was priced as a main battle tank, I would say like, guys, nope, that's not for us. But as an artillery tank, I like that it has the secondary weapons that really helps him, like the anti-air thing, because you can use your big mortar, indirect or not, And then as you reload the mortar, you can go on the lock-on for the enemy aircraft. Like it's nice. It's really good. And 8, 15, 22 dice, indirect, sure, but seismic and suppressive is okay, actually. It's surprisingly okay. And it's tough. If you put it on an objective in the middle/end of the game, it's gonna hold and survive. Is a bit weak against penetrating weapons. High damage limit, low defense means you can get popped up by a Globonauta, for example, in the mirror match. No, I really like them. The one thing that I will say is try to magnetize, because there is a variant we'll see in the Corregedor that is probably how you want to play those models, because an artillery tank is nice. Like it has a little anti-air. It's good indirect if there is enemy hidden, like indirect artillery. It's good. However, this is where the Alliance money is. First of all, it looks incredible. It looks like a mix between First World War and, I don't know, 40k Krieg or something. I love the design. It's insane. Like it's instant crush. It is cheap, tough, and does exactly what you want it to do. So you play the Corregedor heavy transport by 2, so 2, 4, or 6. They're cheap. 2 of them is 55 points. 6 of them is 145. I don't think you go all the way there. I mean, you can. I think you play them 2 at 55 points or by 4 at 95. Same defensive profile, speed of 6, defense of 2, plus 1 from the front, damage limit of 4. They have an EAT lancet, like a little EAT cannon in the front. So at 8-inch, it's going to be 3, 6, 9 dice, devastating. Okay, sure, cute. It's an extra little firepower, but I think your main firepower is going to come from the infantry inside. Probably, sorry, probably Légionnaires or your Ordenenza. It has a capacity of 4, so 2 of them can carry uh, up to 1 squadron of Ordenenza or 1 unit of Légionnaires. However, and this is where it becomes spicy, if you have 4 of those guys, it means you're going to have a capacity of 16, which means you can bring lots of Italian war dogs, infantry, for example. You can put some snipers, you can put whatever, you can put 2 squads of Ordenenza, that's great. But especially, you can bring with 4 Corregedor a full strength unit of French Legionnaires. So 95 points plus the Legionnaires. You're going to have your Legionnaires inside this transport. They do look kind of like Ordenenza. They're going to go around benefiting from the defense of the Corregedor, shooting out of it thanks to open top. And if the Corregedor get destroyed by penetrating to weapons or stuff, they survive thanks to bailout. Like you remember when I told you guys, like the Alliance is hard to play, and I wouldn't recommend it to new players. And yeah, it's a bit tough. Think twice before you start the faction. The Corregidor is the one reason why I can say, okay, anybody can have fun with the Alliance. It's easier to play. If you put your infantry in Corregidor, you don't have them as a horde to block the enemy. You don't have them in drop pods. You don't have them scoring from the Ghent and stuff. But if you want your infantry to go where it needs to go and stay alive and shoot from this giant transport with their heat rifles as the heat cannon is also shooting at the same time, then it's going to be amazing. Like I don't see I cannot put myself not to play Legionnaires in them or the Ordinanza as well. Or it's a great transport. It is a bit expensive. I mean, compared to some other transports, and it can die fast. But for me, it's all the way up there as one of the best transports in the game, alongside the transport of the Union and alongside the transports for the Imperium, which are very cheap. Incredible transport unit, anecdotic firepower, but can be nice, can help. Good transport capacity, good resilience, good rules. Love it. It's really one of the linchpin that makes the Alliance work as a faction. And then the third variant, fortunately it's harsh to go after the Corregidor, is the Avignon Mobile Chapelles. Avignon, very, very beautiful city as well. So hi to my friends from Avignon, from my youth. Avignon has a very big church, cathedral. It's used to be HQ of the Pope, and that's why they give the name to this. Same defensive profile, same everything. It also has this heat cannon, Okay, sure. It has a bit stronger melee in impact and suppressive, so it's kind of fun. I guess they are crazier. Their main rule is Shrine of the Faithful. You can only play the Avignon 2x2, by the way, you cannot make a big pack. If you are within 6 inch of an Avignon, then you gain the Faithful keyword if you didn't have it. So you can give Faithful keyword to get extra dice, double activation, etc. on Navarre, so they shoot even stronger. On basically every single unit where you see like they don't have much, you can say like, okay, maybe I will give them the Faithful keyword and it's going to be a bit stronger. I mean, the Globonauta with Faithful keyword start to be absolute terrors. Two of them, like few packs of two of those around an Avignon being if they are suppressed, and it's going to be very annoying. Again, a bit too many hoops to jump through to activate it. If it was just an aura of +2 dice or something, because you're faithful or you can spend a card or something, okay. But since you need to be suppressed, the enemy can just ignore it or shoot the Avignon first, which is going to be harsh because it's tough. It's not terrible for 70 points. If you want to play with a faithful gameplay, it's nice, I guess. It's not my first choice at all. I would, in a pure faith theme, sure, but I would put the Navarre before and the Corregedor even before. Still, the concept is fun, but the faithful aura is too harsh for too little. We are reaching the end, guys, with the French drop capsule. So it's a drop pod, let's call it. It's sent from our beautiful Furieux in Dystopian Wars. You know them. They have some very cool rules. As you can see, laundry list of core rules. They can transport Légionnaires and they have capacity of 5. So one drop pod takes a basic sized unit of French Legionnaires. Two drop pods, 135 points, brings 10 Legionnaires or reinforced sides of Legionnaires. They're really made to go with each other. It's large, it has aerial assault and assault ramp. Assault ramps means that if you really want to, you can disembark right away if you think that the enemy is going to shoot you down. Otherwise, you can shoot a little bit if the enemy has almost no choice and you are fine. Obfuscating, so it has an aura of defending your Legionnaires around as you disembark. Great. It is large, sure. Dynamic entry, so you make suppression test around the place where you arrive. And aerial assault means that you can basically drop it anywhere you want. Yeah, just showing you very quickly aerial assault. You can see there is a lot of text. But what I want to show is like it must be in reserve, of course, etc. And it's a special command. So there is a chance that your opponent counters it. Of course, maybe you play with your cards, maybe you use Les Aigles Impériaux Specialist Battle Group to make sure you have good cards, etc., etc. But it means that when you want to activate, which can be at the beginning or the end of the turn, whenever you want, of the round, you have a chance of never being able to deploy your drop pods if your opponent keeps countering your special command. At some point, I think you will succeed, but be careful. If you have, I don't know, 3 drop pods and 15 Legionnaires, as an opposing player, I would spend very good cards to prevent you from activating your drop pods because that's a big threat. So be very careful with that. And you can deploy them anywhere you want. So this being said, it's a good unit. Like let's not dilly-dally around. Being able to, for the price of a card and a lot of headache for your opponent, deploy 5 Legionnaires anywhere, and there's even a relic that is a bit expensive but allows you to move after you deploy from reserve, so you can really deploy your guys, drop them from the drop pod, and they immediately go and occupy a building. That can be really a huge headache for your opponent. I wouldn't put 3 drop pods and 15 Legionnaires in that because, okay, it's a huge force, but you're too dependent on succeeding your card roll, and you really tell your opponent, okay, really try to counter me with your biggest card, because if you succeed, I would be extremely sad to have like 400 points that can never come on the table. So be careful with that. But I think a single drop pod with 5 Legionnaires as a threat is a headache for your opponent. Like for you, if it arrives, good. You will occupy a building, attack, I don't know, some artillery in the back, deploy in a forest, and then the drop pod itself shoots as well. Like it has a 579 suppressive turret at 20-inch anti-light. It's not nothing. It is also tough, like defense 3, damage limit of 4, uh, beyond shooting at it with a penetrating weapon. It's not going away anytime soon. So it is good, but if it doesn't deploy, it's like 130 points, 150. Like it's fine. Like you didn't lose too much if your opponent counters it. But the threat in the head of your opponent, I think, is the same, almost, if it's 3 drop pods and 15 Legionnaires compared to 1 drop pod and 5 Legionnaires. I exaggerate, of course, by saying that, but I mean, the first drop pod you have in your list with Legionnaires gives you such a flexibility and such an issue for your opponent, who is always like, maybe next turn, maybe next activation of my opponent is going to be a drop pod coming somewhere. So he always has to think about it. While having 3 drop pods or more, you don't know, you can put 6 if you want, then it's part of your main strategy, and your opponent can really focus on that and try to find a way to counter it, instead of just it being another of the little mosquito sting that will annoy your opponent as you take the objectives with your horde of Ordenenza, your Charrette, your Ghent, etc. And on top of that, he said, like, okay, if you are not careful and you just charge me head on, there is also a drop pod coming with the Legionnaires, and then they can shoot anything, light or heavy. So I really like the French drop capsule in low quantities. And if you are going to put your French Legionnaires in Ghent in Corregedors, then you can use your drop pods as drop Firebases. Bit like a 90 points all the way to 235. And this starts to be like fun. So they have the same rule, aerial assault and everything. They just don't have transport capacity. Dynamic re-entry as well. Jamming 6, which means that your opponent cannot give orders within 6 inches. If you do this on a Union player that wanted to give them hell on a key unit, let me tell you, the Union player is going to be very sad. Or like a Covenant that wants to use a supercharged weapons, like anything, it's going to be very good. It has the same anti-light attack, but especially it has anti-heavy rockets, 6, 10, 14 lock-on turret. So basically you drop those things anywhere in the center, in your enemy's backyard and stuff, and you can either use them as turrets, basically, giant turrets, you can, or you can just shoot turn after turn with lock-on and just shoot in the back of your opponent. Since you can really choose where they're going to be, you're probably going to want to put them where they're annoying, like somewhere like on the side, or where they have firing angle, but it's inconvenient for your opponent to shoot at them, or actually maybe even in forest, like to be even more annoying to deal with. So there is many things that you can do, and the one thing that I want to point out with those things, I didn't tell it about the transport because it was less relevant, but for something like this, it absolutely is that they are large. What does it mean? Impacts movement. You're not moving, but it impacts line of sight. This thing you cannot see through the drop pod, and you need to see, like, it means you could absolutely have your opponents coming ready to charge, and then you drop 3 drop pods in a line, like touching each other with the little feet right there, making a line and starting to shoot, first of all. And then all your infantry or cheap, like fragile things behind are invisible, because it's not like you do, like the enemy cannot see you, which is very strong. And when you get destroyed, you become a wreck. Like you don't remove the drop pod; it stays on the table as a wreck. It can be occupied by some units, like the British, for example, engineers. But still, like, this is just like you deploy a wall, and the drop pod, the transport, you can put them around next to buildings and stuff. This you can just, it's basically you deploy a wall if you want for 235 points that's going to shoot 14 dice in lock-on against anything, any tank, and be used as a mobile barricade. Is it strong? I don't think so. I think it's too expensive for what it is. Yes, it's a deployable tank, basically, but you only have 3 of them, and it's a bit expensive. It's not very powerful, and it's tough, but I don't think it's very strong. However, being able to deploy cover like this and being very annoying does have its value. Plus, there is a jamming capacity as well, which, against the right matchup, is going to be very impactful. Being able, let's be honest, 90 points gives you 1 drop pod that you can throw next to a big pack of 6 artillery of the Union that is in a forest or something, just shooting out of line of sight, give them hell every turn. You drop it around. First of all, it's going to shoot the artillery, not from the good arc, etc. From the side, it's going to be great. And at the same, or the crown as well, why not? and it's going to be very annoying for your opponent, and it's going to prevent them from receiving orders. Amazing. And if you really drop the the firebase next to the artillery will be too close to shoot on you, so they will not even be able to react. Even more if you deploy behind them. So many tricks, and the same as the capsule. I think just one is going to be the sweet spot. More is nice. I mean, again, 3 firebase next to each other is a lot of points, but it's a wall that you deploy. You basically say, oh, you know what? I brought my own terrain here, and it's good. But one firebase is going to be very efficient to deal with enemies behind their lines. Both of them are very good, the capsule and the firebase. And I think one of each in your list, one capsule with 5 Légionnaires and one firebase, is going to be great. And we finish with the Malinois Interdictor Squadron, the steampunk version of the Rafale. This guy is okay. It's interesting, let's say. 100 points, 150 for a second one, which is very cheap, like 50% discount. And then 220 for 3, okay. Defense 3, damage limit of 3. It has rapid response, which is the new thing for all the aerials, allowing them to deploy turn 1 and turn 5, which is good. All-out attack 2, which means it can do 2 different attacks. So if you attack a light unit, let me tell you, this guy is going to have a lot of damage. And you can also, like, you can choose 2 lines from the table. Fiery Demise, we know. Your anti-light attack is skewed. 5, 7, 9, okay. Anti-aerial at 4, 6, 8 is also okay. If there is enemy rotorcraft or Globonautas or something, you will wipe them out. Sure. The main attack, like quotation mark, is the bombs that it drops. It's suppressive, 4, 8, 12. So you can quite easily put 8 dice and trail. So it means you need to fly over an enemy unit before you can drop the bomb and then activate them. It's okay. It's suppressive. Suppressive against heavy is nice and unusual. It's all right. It's a fighter bomber, let's call it. I am not a huge fan of the rules, and it's nice. Like, I mean, it's not terrible. I don't think they were very inspired. It doesn't look like a fighter bomber to me. It looks more like an interceptor than a fighter, but like a bomber. But sure, why not? It would have been nice to have also a laser or heat weapon or something. The fact that it can use 2 weapons at the same time with all-out attack is what saves it, in my opinion. So you can really focus down on 2 enemy light, like on enemy light units with the bombs and the Gatlings. You can shoot some aerial, sure, and you can even bomb some heavies and also shoot aerial, or bomb some heavies and shoot some infantry. Sure, it's okay for the point cost. It's just very unexciting, but it's an aircraft. It does what it's supposed to do. There is no steampunk element much in the rules and everything. It's just a normal, like, Second World War fighter bomber type of unit. Sure, we are okay with that. Okay, we've seen every single one of the units, and now we need to talk about how to expand. Like, okay, you like the faction. Let me put my head a bit smaller. You like the faction. You start with the Alliance faction starter because obviously that's what you gotta do. And then you're like, okay, what do I do next? Well, the first thing to expand to get some resin commander and everything would be to get the Alliance introductory starter set. It's basically the same sprue. It's half of the starter set without the terrain, without the gaunt, at a little bit more expensive than 1/3 of the price. It's okay. It's not a bad discount. I would recommend, yes, always to get a second starter set if you can. But if you cannot, then this is a good option. Absolutely. Nothing bad with it, like, at all. And if you just want to be able to put some units at full strength, like, I don't know, the Ordenenza or the Charrette or the Corregedor or something, it's a good complement. And if you don't want to take a second starter, for 56 euros, it's not a huge investment, and that would be my recommendation on what to buy next. You can also, and this is my personal recommendation of what I'm gonna do. No, I'm kidding about the starter. Who am I kidding? Yeah, but another good option is going to be the Valença battle group set, because you're going to get a bit more Ordenenza, which are the core of your lists, more Globonauts, which you really want to spam like in small units, more Charrette, which is your frontline objective holder, if I am barely exaggerating, lots of units that you really like, and the Ghent / Valença. But spoiler, yeah, you can play 1 Valença and 1 Ghent or 2 Ghents. I really think at some point in the game you will want to play with 2 Ghents. I think it's a good way to bring both flanks, or one Ghent and one Valença, and I really think that is a good option, and you have good units in this list. The only thing I'm not very excited with are the War Dogs, and even then, like you can find utility for them. This is a good way to expand if you don't want the starter, and if you don't want the introductory starter either. And then, of course, the Malinois. I mean, it's a beautiful aircraft. I wasn't a big fan of the shape, like the triangle shape, and I think it's a paint job, especially as well, which is interesting, but it's well made. But I just don't like the color scheme. And someone pointed me like it looks like a Rafale, and now I like it very much more. Thank you, Karin. I like this miniature now. It's interesting, and it's always good to have one or especially two of them in your list. At two, they're quite discounted and they will be useful. You don't need to, but if you have a lot of alliance troops already and you want to expand a bit, having a couple of Malinois, which are quite cheap, they are at less than 20 euros each, brand new. So if you go to my place, it's like 15 euros, I guess, maybe even less with the discounts. I do think it's a good, cute model, and it's quite big actually. Like it's made of resin. It's quite big on the table. It's quite impressive. And we are reaching the end of this very long video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, as always, remember that you can support us the best by going to my place and ordering stuff in general, Armoured Clash or otherwise, and putting us in your basket as the current content creator you want to support. Whether it's Dystopian Wars, I don't know, Warhammer 40,000, Conquest, anything. This might be a very long video, I just realized, because, well, it's the Alliance. It's one of my heart factions, so of course I needed to explain to you everything about how to play them. They're not exactly what I was expecting, but I'm very happy of how they end up with all the Hitlons and the dropouts. You see the artwork, it's amazing. I really like the Charrette here in the artworks. I'm just not a big fan of the miniature. We'll see when it's painted, how it looks like. But look at the Gaunt in the back, like how cool it looks. Very excited to get this army painted at a very high standard and to make some battle reports with them. We start to have more and more players which are getting their Armoured Clash armies fully painted. So I didn't want to just make the usual Union versus Crown all the time. Now we have Covenant being painted, Imperium being ready, the Empire is also being finished. So we're gonna be able to have different types of armies, and we're gonna make more and more Armoured Clash battle reports. We have the Sultanates that have been announced, which are insane, but it's a very different faction to the Alliance. So expect more Armoured Clash on the channel in the future. Of course, we're going to keep covering all the new releases of the game. We're soon going to be at the end of the release cycle, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen next, probably some expansions and stuff. As always, a thumbs up really helps. Subscribe, share, activate the bell, all the YouTube things that you know. And the best support is to, well, join the Discord as well. It really helps. And buy stuff with our code, and it allows us to get some more miniatures to make even larger battle reports. Thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourself. And until the next video, remember to keep all things fair in love and war games. Bye.